thinks Greenville, South Carolina is this quiet, cheap little hidden gem. But the reality, it's a little different. In this video, I'm breaking down the real Greenville, what people expect before they move here versus what it's actually like living here day to day. We're talking about growth, traffic, cost of living, and a few things that might honestly surprise you. So if you're thinking about moving to Greenville, or you already live here and you just want to see if I'm right, this is for you. Really quick, before we get into all of that, if you are looking to make your move here to Greenville, South Carolina, or maybe you are already here, you should definitely go scan this QR code over here, because you're going to get in touch with our team here at the Aubree Lewis Group, and we have a ton of cool resources and things that will help you whether you're looking to buy a house or sell a house. All right, so let's get to the good stuff right from the start. The most common expectation that people have is this. Greenville is this slow, quiet, small southern town where nothing actually changes. The reality is Greenville is booming, like really, really booming. We just covered some major developments here in our last video. You've got new apartment complexes and home developments going up everywhere. New restaurants are opening up constantly, and downtown is packed most weekends. Like, if you look at Google Earth around Greenville, you'll see so much red dirt from all the development that's happening around the area that you'll be like, yep, that's what South Carolina does, red dirt. We have a lot of people that are moving here from places like New York, California, Arizona, Texas, and that changes things. Now, that doesn't mean that Greenville has lost its charm. It's just evolving really fast. Now, being a real estate agent that's helped so many of you that are watching this and making this move, I've noticed that most people are coming here because they like the Greenville lifestyle and what it has to offer. Not that they want to bring their big city politics and corrupt our town. This is the buckle of the Bible Belt, y'all, and conservative life here is alive and well. So yeah, Greenville still has that big, small town feel, but it's definitely not sleepy anymore. All right, let's talk about this next one. It is a hot button topic here, traffic. People moving from places like New Jersey, California, think traffic here is nothing. And people that have lived here forever think it's gotten absolutely horrendous. But here's the reality. We still have a rush hour. I know it's different, but Woodruff Road definitely exists, and you do not want to be there on a Saturday. 385 can get pretty congested when everyone's going to work, and I've been stuck on 385 when all the lanes are blocked, and more than once because of crashes. But can you usually get anywhere in about 30 minutes? I think so, and you can get there most times of day. So if you're a local that's been here for 100 years and roads have been more congested and the population has risen, that's going to continue. Traffic exists, but you'll learn which areas to be in or not be in, and you'll learn all of these roads really quick. All right, so let's talk about some of the things to do. Because of that small town vibe, people often think that there is nothing to do here in Greenville, that all we have is pickleball and the Swamp Rabbit Trail, and that you'll have to go to Charlotte or Atlanta if you actually want real entertainment. And while some of that may be true, that if you want to see a major sports team play or more regular large concerts, you're going to be going to Atlanta or Charlotte. But that doesn't mean there's nothing to do here in Greenville. We have some really great sports here in the Greenville area. You've got the Greenville Drive and Hub City Spartanburgers for baseball, plus the Greenville Liberty and Triumph for soccer, which are both affordable and a lot of fun. But aside from all of that, we've got festivals all the time, not just in downtown Greenville, but also in places like Greer, Travelers Rest, Fountain Inn, and Easley. And if there isn't a festival going on, you can always find a great farmers market on summer weekends in almost all of those places. And I'll be honest with you, We don't have the biggest musicians coming through here all the time, but from the radio room to the Peace Center to the amphitheater in Simpsonville and even Bon Secours Arena downtown, there is quite a bit of live music happening here every single week. And speaking of the Peace Center, there are also symphonies and plays very regularly, and they're very high quality and they're fun for everybody. And then the thing that attracts so many people to the area, the great outdoors. People do life outside here. Depending on where you're at in Greenville, the mountains and lakes are very close by. There's plenty of hiking and water activities to be had. Plus, you've got the Swamp Rabbit Trail that runs through a massive chunk of the city and is constantly growing. Like, there's a master plan around that. So is all of this going to compare to a massive city? No. But for its size, Greenville actually does a really good job of keeping things active. So if you're bored here, I'm not saying it's you, but it might be you. Now, I'm going to take us back to conversation about transportation. I love the Swamp Rabbit. It's great to be able to get outside and ride a bike or just walk for hours. But the reality is, this trail is just one trail, and it only goes through part of town. So if you don't live in downtown or you want to get literally anywhere else, you're going to need a car. Because remember how I said everything is about 30 minutes away? What I meant was most things are about 30 minutes away. We do have strategic shopping locations and clusters, but in many of the areas around downtown that have access to the Swamp Rabbit are also still food deserts. Even if you wanted to get groceries in some places, again, you have to have a car. And I wish I could sit here and tell you that public transportation is grade A here in Greenville, but truthfully, it's pretty bad. The bus routes don't take you to too many places, and they don't run incredibly often. Point blank, it's just not very reliable. So yeah, just so you know that unless you're living in one or two different neighborhoods specifically, expect to be driving. Our next big thing I get lots of questions about, the weather. And I brag all the time on this channel about Greenville's weather. And I stand by that. People's expectations coming here are usually that things will be pretty mild year round, just like the traffic that really depends on where you're coming from. And I'm just going to start by saying the humidity hits different here. All right. It's just different. I'm talking sticky, heavy. Walk outside and immediately regret your life decisions. And it's not just July and August. This can go from like May to September. You'll understand real quick why people run errands early or just stay inside. So if you're coming from somewhere like Florida, Greenville will feel like a reprieve from the oppressive heat and humidity. But if you lived in Michigan your whole life, you're in for an entirely different kind of summer here. But here's the trade-off. Fall in Greenville is elite. And while we do get snow every couple of years and 2 inches will generally shut down the whole city, winters here are very mild compared to the majority of the country. Now, Greenville's job market is definitely growing, and housing isn't the only thing that's getting developed, but your ability to find a job here really depends on what you do. Greenville has strong industries. We're talking manufacturing, healthcare, automotive, engineering. BMW has a huge presence here, and so does Michelin and Fluor. They employ a ton of people, and we do have a very robust healthcare system here with Prisma Health that provides a lot of jobs as well. But if you're in certain fields like tech, creative, or any niche industries, it might feel more limited as people tend to flock to places like Atlanta and Charlotte to pursue careers in those types of fields. But we also see a lot of small businesses here that tend to do really well because the community here is oriented around that culture here in Greenville. The Young Professionals Facebook group is very active, and the in-person networking infrastructure is strong. So this could be a great place for you to pursue that dream if you have one. It's just not equally across every single field. All right, so the next expectation is that everything is super cheap here. You hear it all the time. Greenville is affordable, but prices actually are climbing really fast, and especially if you're trying to live near downtown, Five Forks, Travelers Rest, or anywhere desirable. Honestly, it's starting to catch people off guard. As far as housing goes, we have seen prices start to level out here, and as these new developments have brought more inventory to the market, here I would say it's about 2/3. That is all new construction. But when it comes to gas, groceries, utilities, and all of the necessities, everything is going up, just like everywhere else in the country. And unfortunately, that seems to be unavoidable regardless of where you live in the US right now. So you might still pay less than a big city, but it's not the steal it used to be. And if you're moving here expecting dirt cheap living, you're gonna be surprised depending on which area you're looking at. And remember all of that red dirt that I just mentioned whenever you look at Google Earth? A lot of the new development is happening in those areas. So when you're looking for what's affordable for me, as far as housing goes, it's going to be in those outskirt areas around Greenville. It's not going to be in some of the more popular areas. That's where prices are still going up. When you are looking for a house, let's say $350 to $450. That's about the average price here in the upstate. Those outskirt areas are where you're going to find really good cost of living whenever it comes to housing prices. For all of you that want to be close to like the downtown Greenville where everything is happening, you want to be able to take your golf cart and drive downtown, or you just want to walk from home to Main Street, Greenville. Here's the expectation. I mean, a decade ago, you could buy a house downtown Greenville for $400,000 to $600,000 in the outskirts, but now those same houses are somewhere around $1 million to $2 million. That's what's happened in Greenville. It's gotten really popular. So as certain areas get more popular, the housing costs increase. But because Greenville City has done such a great job of marketing itself to the nation, many people think that downtown Greenville is the whole Greenville experience. In reality, most people don't live downtown, and most of your daily life probably won't happen there either. You're likely to find yourself downtown for many events, restaurants, weekend strolls in the park, Greenville Drive games. There's just a lot to do there. But day-to-day life, that's in places like Simpsonville, Taylor's, Greer, Travelers Rest, and so many other great towns around the upstate. So if you want to learn more about those places, reach out to our team so we can help you figure out what the best place around the upstate is for your life by scanning this QR code. And you can also watch this video where I get more in the weeds of all those towns I just mentioned. See you soon.